Lamborghinis and they're renting Hummers. The party's on, so they're heading downtown. Everybody's looking for a come up, and they wanna know what you're about. Me in the middle with the one I love it. We're just trying to figure everything out. We don't fit in.
Welcome back, guys.
My name's Samantha.
Justin's not here, and Nando is right there.
Why are we filming?
Because so Peanut messed up our camera. We have to fix it. So we are currently at the lake, and we are going to be using the jet skis again. No me quieras cortar, pa. Look at what my dad's trying to do to me.
Te estoy diciendo, te estoy enseñando, mira.
Look, you see that? Te agarré en cámara, eh?
No.
So we have one jet ski here. We came in the Jeep today. No getting stuck today. And we brought the other jet ski over here. My sister came with me. And my brother-in-law went to go look for a spot, so we'll have to be driving around. And you guys, on the way over here, they told us somebody drowned in the river. It's crazy. See the other ones here. Say hi, Ismael. I'm vlogging.
We all saw you vlog. We were like, oh no,
So Pina messed up my camera.
Why are you recording?
Say hi. His face. Ooh. Crusty.
My nose.
honey. Hey, with the friend over here, baby girl.
Got all the family here. Hi, Peanut. Oh, now she's happy.
To get her the bucket with the stuff.
And it's up there cooking the beans. Ah. After Ismael grilled the chicken, pollo. Hey, what do you want, chicken or pollo? Yeah. Kids, say hi. What? Be careful. Nani! Nani! Is that Sophia? Oh, that's Melissa. Oh, the mommy and her kicked in.
No, it's the teacher.
Look at the sunblock my brother-in-law for her face. I'm gonna zoom in. See that? Big old blotch
You have some in your nose.
on the cheek right there.
Thick glare.
Extra protection, huh, Luis?
Looks like you went.
I still have some on my arms. Right there in case you guys didn't see.
Why is it crumbly? So they decided they wanted to go on a swim. And now they're stuck over there. We're all over here, they're over there. Say hi to the left family!
Can you get me over there?
Okay, you guys. So basically, we stopped vlogging from the moment that we kind of started having too much fun at the lake. And then I was really exhausted from the night before because I hadn't really slept much. But anyways, so basically, to kind of go back a few steps before telling you the story, we've had the jet ski for...
I don't know.
How old
Got it.
are you?
How old am I? I'm 11.
11. So we've had it for like 11 years, something like that. I can't really remember. To be honest, I kind of blacked out that piece when we bought it, but so around 11 years. And then you have to carry obviously the jet ski in a trailer. I don't remember how exactly we ended up with the trailer that we had, which is the black one that we took to that camping trip that you guys seen in the beginning of the video. I've been having issues with that trailer like all the time. There's always something going on with the trailer or the jet ski every year. And for guys, it's easy to say, oh, it's this, fix that, buy this, buy that, because they know what they're doing. Me as a woman, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I rely on my brother-in-law a lot to help me, or either brother-in-law, from either Fernando's brother. Usually helps me, like if the lights, actually the lights were messed up. So the night when we go pick up jet ski from over there, he fixed the lights for us before we headed out. So that just goes to show you. And then my brother-in-law, which is my compadre, my sister's husband, also helps me out all the time with it. But so anyways, this trailer's kind of old. I don't know how we ended up with this trailer, but it's kind of old. So it had been messed up from the year before that, and then
I think it was the light. The trailer light.
no, remember something broke last time? The wood thing that holds the jet ski. I don't remember exactly what, but it had broken already. So they kind of had like tweaked it and fixed it. So we decided to take it, and then we ended up leaving the lake a little early because I was very exhausted. I was like I was drained out, and I was like, I
was
just needed,
exhausted
yeah,
already.
I was like, I didn't even use the jet ski that day because I was so tired.
She was exhausted.
So then we were driving back home, and I remember I had to freaking use the restroom, and I just couldn't at the lake. I just was grossed out by the restrooms because it had the porta potties. So my brother-in-law decides to take us to his job site because he works 30 minutes away from the lake we were at, which is in Bakersfield.
Closer.
No, it was like 30 minutes
Oh, I felt really close.
to the lake, or maybe closer. I don't know. It didn't seem far. So we stopped to use the restroom, and then it was getting. So we ended up. So to get out of the lake and to go through the lake, you could only go in through one way, which is through the canyons. It's like one road to go, one road to come back, and you kind of share it. So it's like it's very tight. You have to drive very carefully.
Yeah.
Which I was fine. I was like, whatever. I drove up the canyons with this double trailer perfectly fine. I wasn't scared. On the way back, everybody falls asleep in the car. So I'm the only one awake. And then I start to like feel like the Jeep like going like back. And I'm like pulling it. So I'm like, what the heck is going on? So then like I don't say anything because the kids are all sleeping and I don't want to freak anybody out, but I'm freaking out. So I just keep driving. And as I start driving, you can hear, and I tell my dad, do you hear that noise? He's like, no, what happened? And I was like, something doesn't feel right. And then I think little Fernando kind of overheard the conversation, because you know how when you fall asleep in the car but you don't really fall like deep asleep. So I think in his consciousness he kind of heard something going on, so he woke up. And he was about to fall asleep. I was like, Fernando, need to stay awake, something's wrong. He was like, what? And I was like, I don't know, something's wrong. So the car doesn't feel right. So we keep driving, and then he feels the Jeep like get pulled back too. He could even feel it at this point. And I was like, and then you could hear like something like dragging. So I'm like, oh shoot, maybe you didn't tie the jet skis on right. It feels like if the jet ski's like pulling us back, maybe it's sliding back. So he's like, put your emergency lights. So Fernando is like, all my kids, they freak out like even more than I do about things. I try to keep my composure. I try to keep it together, but they're very paranoid children. Were you awake at this point yet or no? When this was first started happening?
No, I think it was when we had. Oh, I remember pulling over the first time.
Okay, so I put the emergency lights on, and Fernando's like, and then he's like, I have to first turn around, because in order for you to pull over, there's like little turnarounds that where you have to pull over sideways, and there's very small space, so you have to think ahead. But it pops out of nowhere, and I honk because my two brother-in-laws are in front of me, which is my little sister's husband, and my sister Annette was with us as well that day.
Oh yeah, I forgot she was.
Yeah, she was. So all the cars are in front of me. I'm basically the last car, right? I'm the last car.
Yeah.
So I just start honking, and I don't think they can hear me because through the canyons there's a lot, like it's very loud because the river is right next to you. So the sound of the river, it was really loud at this point because the rivers had told us the river had been it's been very strong. The river had been very strong. So then I pull over. Without hesitation, I just freaking pump the brakes and I pull over. And then we check it, and then Fran was like, oh, maybe it is the jet ski. Maybe I didn't tie it right. So we started trying to call our brother-in-law, but we realized our phones have no service. We literally have no service.
Yeah, you can't call
So I was like, they're just going to have to keep driving, Fran. We're just going to have to figure it out on our own. Like, we're stuck on our own now. Because there's only one way to go, and there's only one way to come back. And how is my brother-in-law has a trailer, and the other two cars are smaller, but what they can't help us. So then right when we're like freaking out, and we're trying to just like, okay,
Yeah, that's
no, let's just tie the jet ski. My dad's like, maybe let's just secure it. Let's make sure it's not on wrong, or maybe, you know, wasn't locked in right. Let's just check everything. So I tell the kids, stay in the car because there's no space to be on the street. Stay in the car, don't get off. So it's just basically me, my dad, and little Fernando out the car. We're trying to fix it. And then I see my brother-in-law with the trailer. He's like driving back, and he's like, just hold on right there. I'll be right back. So I'm like, we're like, how the heck did he give a U-turn with the trailer? So whatever, we start trying to tie the jet ski. He's like, no, maybe you're panicking because it's dark. And I was like, no, I'm not scared to drive the trailer. Like, I feel I drove it back this way, so I was perfectly fine. It's not that there's something wrong. I was like, I know my car, and there's something wrong. And he was like, he starts checking it. He's like, no, just drive it, but drive slow. He doesn't tell me what's wrong. He's like, just drive slow. I'll drive behind you. He's like, put your emergency lights. Who cares if the car's honk? Like, they have to wait. You know, you have to stay safe because you have other kids in the car. I had in the car, it was me, little Fernando. It was Sophia, which is my sister's little, the baby. Yeah. And then I had Samantha and Justin.
So it was us five. The only the kids
and then me,
were
6.
just me, Justin, and Sophia.
Yeah.
And then you guys had got off and checked. I remember the first time I asked you what happened, you're like, nothing, because you didn't. Because I will panic very quickly.
Yeah. She's like, what's wrong? I was like, nothing. So then we get back in the car, and I start driving slow. And as I'm driving, maybe like 6 minutes into the drive again, and I'm like, no, I'm pulling over. This doesn't feel right. Something's wrong. Like in my heart, loud. I know there's something wrong, and I could hear the sound of the trailer sounds like it's dragging something, and then I'm like, I'm struggling to go because I have to go really fast, and it's like pulling me back. The weight of the car at this point feels very, very heavy. So we pull over again, and then my brother was like, you know what? Let me check. Let me pay attention this time, because he thought maybe I was just. I think his first thought was like I'm panicking. So he brings out the flashlight. He starts checking it. He's like, okay, you're gonna be fine, but you have to drive really slow and very careful. He's like,
it's pull over every time.
He's like, as soon as you feel like you need to slow down, you feel like stressed out because there's cars behind you, just pull over. So I'm like, what's wrong? He's like, the axle broke. So I'm like, what the heck does that mean? What does that mean? I'm confused. I don't know what that means. He's like, so basically that's, I guess, I don't remember exactly how he explained it, so don't come at me for not explaining this correctly.
She doesn't remember that. Or whatever.
But basically, it's, I guess, what keeps the wheels aligned or holding the two wheels together, like a bar like that. I kind of
clamp or something.
I don't know. So he's like, so basically, if the trailer can pull you on its own way, so you know, just be careful. Just let if anything. And then Fran was like, Mom, if anything, oh wow, you know, safety first. Just let the jet skis go. So in my head, I'm already like, what the heck is just happening? Like, how am I gonna drive this? One, because I have my kids in the car. I have my niece in the car that I took responsibility for, because when I take someone in the car with me, when I take little kids with me, I keep that in the back of my head. Like, I'm responsible for these children's lives at this moment. So I'm like, I have my niece with me, I have my little kids, and I have my dad with me. And I was like, what the heck am I gonna do, you know?
It's scary.
So I'm like, I don't want to panic. And I was like, who cares, Mom? Like, if anything, just let the jet ski go. So I'm already like in the back of my head, I want to cry, because I could almost picture the trailer like losing control and the jet ski falling into the river. Because you know, when someone tells you something, you start to think the worst.
Yeah.
So, and then we've been through like trauma in our lives at this point. So we panic for anything.
It's scary.
So I can almost picture the freaking jet ski like going into the river, and I want to cry. And it's not because of the material situation, because the jet ski could be replaced and our lives can't. But it's just the fact that this is a jet ski that we purchased together as a family. We have built so many memories, and it has a lot of emotional value, obviously, because I bought it with Fernando. And he's obviously not here. So I was just like this is supposed to be for my kids. Like, we're supposed to continue the good memories that we have with this. So how is this happening right now? So I immediately start saying, like, God, please don't let anything happen to me. Don't let anything happen to the kids. And I start saying, Fernando, like, you know, we need you as a guardian angel. Like, ponte listo, like, help us get through this safely. And Mom, you're up there, like, take care of us. I have, you know, your husband with me. I have my dad with me. And then, you know, just protect us all, you know. So then I'm like, I have all your freaking grandchildren and with me. It's like, just protect us. So I'm like trying not to panic. So we start driving like another like maybe 6 minutes, and then you can smell burn. So I'm like, oh no, I'm pulling over. That's it. I'm not doing this anymore. So I pull over again after 6 minutes of driving, 10 minutes of driving. You can smell it burning really bad. And then my brother was like, and I could see him like putting his emergency lights. So I'm like, no, I'm pulling over. So we pull over. He's like, yeah, it smells really bad. So I told him, he's like, you know what? Are you okay? Because I think at this point I'm very shaky. I was like, no.
Really
I said, I
shaky.
can feel it pulling the Jeep back more and more. I feel like I'm in a death trap. That's exactly what I felt like at that moment.
I could picture it falling in I can picture myself, the thing falling, and I don't know how, and the water's coming in. I was picturing myself like that.
Really?
In that moment. Yeah.
That just goes to show you that it was very scary. Everybody in that car was freaking out, but everybody was trying to keep their composure because we were all not trying to make each other panic.
Yeah, and what's crazy is it's even though the screeching was so loud, you know it's so loud because the water's so loud, so it's surprising that
You
you
can
can
still hear it. Yeah. So then basically, my brother-in-law takes over. He's like, I'm driving the Jeep, you go drive the truck. So I'm like very shaky, and I was like, I don't want to drive your truck. He's like, you drive the truck, the Tundra, so it's fine, it's the same thing. So I'm like, it's not that. I'm just like, I'm nervous now. So he's like, no, you'll be fine. So I'm walking towards the truck, and I tell my sister, do the kids fit in the truck over here? Because I don't want them in the car anymore.
Yeah, I was.
And she was like, yeah, we'll figure it out. Bring them over here. I don't want them in the car either. So then I go back to the Jeep, and I tell the kids, you know, get out. And I tell the adults, go into the Jeep, because we obviously can't. You know, we have to kind of make it work. So I'm like, at least adults can kind of react more than versus kids, you know? So we take all the little ones out of the Jeep, and we basically load the Jeep with just adults. So basically all the men of the family are in the Jeep now. And us girls are all in the cars. So then my other brother-in-law ended up getting off his car. He took over the truck because I was very shaky. Then I took over my little sister's car, which is just a small Jeep and not carrying any weight. And then we started driving. And then when we finally pull out of the canyons, you guys, after like 30 minutes or 45 minutes of driving through the canyons, probably 45 minutes because we have to drive so slow, we get out. My brother-in-law pulls over right away. He gets off. He was like, oh my God. And I was like, it felt like a death trap. I was like, yeah, I'm not even going to lie. I was scared. And then my little brother ended up getting in that car, switching out to get in the car to let the kids take his place. He was like, I was scared too. I'm not even gonna lie. So basically, little Fernando,
Papa,
my dad, my
Nino.
brother-in-law is Hernino, and Manuel.
That's it.
We're in the Jeep.
Yeah.
They all get off, and they're all telling us how they're freaking out and how they're so thankful that we made it through the canyons and that, you know, nothing happened. And I was like, in the back of my head, and I know that obviously God is the number one reason why, you know, we may say it, but I also felt like my mom and Fernando were really watching over us, because it was the most scary thing in the world that I had been through in a long time.
Too, and I was like, Daddy, please, I don't want to die today. And I was like, Grandma, come on.
Yeah, so basically that's how that lake day ended up. And then we kept saying we were gonna do a story time as a family, so that you guys can hear this perspective from everybody that went through it that day. But we've been doing something every weekend, guys, every weekend. And I was literally sitting down right now editing this video, and it's like 2:30 in the morning, and I'm editing this video, and I'm like, oh my God, we never even recorded the story time. So Samantha's still awake, and she was watching too, so I was like, come do the story time with me and record it. So basically, that day I said, count your blessings. You never know when something's gonna happen. Be thankful that you have who you have with you. I've lost, you know, my partner, my best friend, the father, my 3 kids. You know, they've lost their dad, and then we lost my mom, their grandma. You know, so it's been tough. So I was just like, and sometimes you still even then take things for granted. And I feel like us as a family, we've gotten a lot like tighter. And we've spent like during this whole quarantine, we only spend time with each other. We don't really go like if we go somewhere, it's only with each other.
It's
Just us, the same people over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's either I go to my sister's
us.
house, or my sister comes to me, or we plan like a getaway, and it's just us, the same people over and over and over.
Like
because
if you see,
and this
we
is
do-
we actually just spent. I barely just spent the weekend with their dad's family not that long ago. Like
I
what?
think like 2 weeks, 3
Like
weeks
2
ago.
weeks ago or something like
I
that.
think it's 2 weeks.
Because I've been kind of scared because I do live with my dad. My dad does live with me now. So I have to, keep an eye out for him because he's older and he has a lot of health issues. So I have to keep, look out for him. But anyways, it was a very, very scary ending. By the time I got to my sister's house, she has this huge pool in the back. I got off the car. I didn't even park it. I was like, someone parked the freaking car. I don't care. I would jump straight into the pool, and I was just like,
It was actually
like I
really good
relaxed.
too, and
I
was-
took a beer, and I was just like, oh my god,
I've
I can
never been
relax.
so happy to be home or like be in a safe out of a car.
Yeah, it was scary.
One thing I'm gonna say after that is just spend as
And
much
basically
time
to
as you
tell
can
you
with
guys how
everybody
how
you
bad how scared I am, we ended up leaving the trailer and the jet ski at my sister's house because I
Yeah.
didn't want to drive through the mountains to bring it back. I was like, no, I'm not risking my freaking kid's life anymore. So I left it there. I just picked up the jet ski. I think it was like 2 weeks ago.
can. I think it was
After we went, I
Yeah,
just
I
picked it
think
up
it
2
was
weeks
2.
ago, and the actual trailer itself is
I think
still
today's
at my
3.
sister's house. So eventually, I have to go get it. Hopefully, this weekend I'll go get it.
one of the good things that happened was Sophia was sleeping throughout the whole thing, or she would have been freaking out and crying.
And that would have made
She
it worse.
only woke up when we stopped the last time and we were about to swap. She was a little bit awake already. She was slowly starting to wake up, and then she was
Yeah.
like, "What's happening?"
But basically, that's the story, guys, and that's where we're gonna end this vlog. We look like a mess because it's like 2-something in the morning, about to
I
be
think
3
it's
o'clock.
3 already.
Yeah.
Maybe 3.
So we hope you guys enjoyed this story time / late day.
Hashtag we almost died. That's scary.
At least we can laugh about it now.
I know.
Oh, I know. Well, anything, guys, we hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, don't forget to
Like,
like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on post notifications. Bye.